She was quiet, always kept to herself, and never tried to stand out. Most people at the office barely noticed Herge, a simple woman who came in, did her work, and left without much fuss. But there was one thing no one could ignore: the tattoo. On her wrist. It was small, strange-looking, and nothing like the pretty or popular designs others had. To some, it looked like a random pattern. To others, it seemed almost like a code. And it didn't take long before whispers started. Laughed behind her back. Others made rude jokes out loud, calling it ugly or creepy. No one ever asked her what it meant. They just judged. One morning during the break, a few coworkers gathered near the vending machine, their voices low but filled with sarcasm. "She probably got it drunk," one of them said with a smirk. Another added, "Or maybe it's a failed attempt at being edgy." The woman, sitting just a few feet away, heard every word, but she didn't react. She just sipped her coffee, glanced at her wrist for a moment, and looked away. Then something unexpected happened. A man in a suit walked into the office, not a manager, not anyone from their building. He looked serious, purposeful. Within minutes, he was asking for her. People were confused, curious. Who was this guy? Why was he asking for her of all people? She stood up slowly when he called her name. For the first time, everyone really looked at her, really looked. And when he extended his hand and said, "It's time," she rolled up her sleeve just a little more, revealing that the tattoo wasn't just a symbol. It was something else entirely, something that made the man nod with recognition. The entire room fell silent. Jaws dropped. What did it mean? Who was she really? And why did her tattoo make a stranger treat her with so much respect? What came next left the entire office stunned and changed everything they thought they knew about her. Everyone watched in stunned silence as she followed the man down the hallway, her calm expression giving away nothing. The same woman they had mocked just moments ago now walked beside a stranger who seemed to treat her like someone important. People whispered, unsure whether to feel embarrassed, curious, or nervous. No one dared to laugh anymore. Her name was Anna. Most people didn't know much about her. She worked in accounting, rarely spoke unless necessary, and always wore the same neutral clothes. She never joined after-work parties, never shared personal stories, and politely turned down invitations to group chats. To her coworkers, she was just there, invisible, forgettable, but the tattoo, that odd black ink on her wrist, suddenly meant something far more serious than a bad design. And that changed everything. Later that day, rumors flew through the office like wildfire. Someone said the man who came for her was from the government. Another swore he'd seen a similar symbol in a documentary about secret missions. One even joked nervously, "What if she's a spy?" Behind closed doors, Anna sat quietly in a small meeting room. The man across from her placed a folder on the table and opened it slowly. Pages filled with names, maps, and what looked like surveillance photos spilled out. He didn't smile. "We've confirmed the signal," he said. "The activation was successful." Anna simply nodded. Her eyes were steady, not afraid. She glanced down at her wrist again, the tattoo still faintly glowing under the light, something no one in the office had ever noticed. Back at her desk, her chair remained empty, and the ones who used to laugh at her, they couldn't stop staring. At the door, waiting for answers they weren't sure they wanted. And still, no one really knew who Anna was. A soft rain began tapping against the windows as the office slowly returned to its usual hum. But the air felt different, heavier, like everyone was holding their breath. People kept glancing at Anna's empty desk, trying to piece together the puzzle that had been sitting among them for years. Some were ashamed of how they had treated her. Others were just scared. But one thing was clear: nobody could stop thinking. About that tattoo. The symbol had looked like random lines at first, maybe even tribal. But now, with everything that had just happened, it felt like a message one they were never meant to see. One coworker whispered that she once saw Anna staring at the tattoo like it was counting down. Another mentioned how she never carried a smartphone, always wrote things by hand, and once refused to go near the office Wi-Fi router. At the time, it all just seemed quirky. Now, it was starting to look like something else, something hidden in plain sight. Inside the closed room, Anna's past was slowly unfolding. The man, known only as Agent Rowe, placed a weathered photo on the table. It was an old group. Shot faces half-faded, uniforms worn. And there she was, Anna, standing in the middle, younger, but with the same calm eyes and the same tattoo. Clear as day. "It's starting again," he said. "We need you back." Anna didn't blink. Her fingers brushed over the edge of the photo, as if remembering a life she had locked away long ago. Outside, lightning flashed and the power flickered for just a second. Back in the office, someone finally spoke what everyone was thinking. She wasn't just some woman with a weird tattoo, they said quietly. She was someone important. But no one could guess just how important. Not yet. The storm outside grew louder, wind rattling. The windows as if something was coming, something bigger than anyone was ready for. Inside the office, the mood had shifted from curiosity to unease. People walked slower, spoke softer, eyes constantly drifting back to the closed meeting room where Anna and the stranger had disappeared. The hum of computers and quiet clacking of keyboards felt like background noise in a place that had stopped breathing done in that room. Agent Rowe handed Anna a black device no larger than a phone. "They've breached the line," he said. "We've confirmed 3 signals in the city. The 4th one, it's coming from here." His voice lowered. "From this building." Anna narrowed her eyes, her fingers tightening around the device. The symbol on her tattoo flickered again, barely visible, but alive. "Then they've already started," she said, standing slowly. Her voice was calm, but behind her steady tone was a weight that only someone who had seen too much could carry. Back at their desks, the employees exchanged uneasy glances as a low, unfamiliar hum passed through the lights. A few monitors flickered. Phones lost signal. The office manager stepped into the hallway, only to freeze mid-step. Armed men in black suits were now stationed at the building's entrance. No one had seen them come in. No one had heard the doors open. "Everyone, stay at your stations," one of the guards announced. "This is a routine security sweep," but nothing about it felt routine. People looked around, heartbeats racing, confusion turning into fear. And just then, the door, too. The meeting room opened, and Anna stepped out. She wasn't the same quiet woman anymore. Her expression was sharper, focused. Her tattoo was now glowing faintly bright enough to see in the dim light. She scanned the room with purpose, eyes landing on one person in particular. And that's when everyone realized the real reason she had stayed hidden was still unfolding. Anna's eyes locked onto James, the junior IT guy, who had only joined the company 6 months ago. He looked confused at first, even tried to smile like it was all some misunderstanding. But the moment their eyes met, that smile disappeared. His hands slowly slid under his desk, reaching for something. Agent Rowe moved faster. "Don't," he said sharply, stepping between them. But it was too late. A small pulse went out from James's watch, barely visible, like a flicker of light. All at once, the office lights surged, the air crackled with static, and several screens across the floor turned black. "What's going on?" someone whispered. Anna didn't blink. She stepped forward, her voice steady. "He's not who you think he is." People stared at James, the guy who always brought donuts on Fridays. The one who stayed late fixing printers and cracked jokes no one laughed at. But now he'd looked different. his posture too stiff, too alert. Like he was ready for something the rest of them couldn't even imagine. "You activated the signal," Anna said, her voice low but filled with weight. "You knew I was here." James didn't deny it. He stood slowly, hands raised halfway. "And yet you stayed," he replied, voice calm. "That was your mistake." Agent Rose stepped between them again, pulling a sleek black object from his coat. It wasn't a weapon, but whatever it was, it made James hesitate. The office was no longer an office. It had become a standoff. And then came the second twist. One of the screens, flickering back to life, appeared a live feed, not from outside, not even from the city. It was from deep underground, a vault, a chamber. And inside it, a machine covered in cables, pulsing faintly with the same symbol as Anna's tattoo. Someone gasped. "That's real." Anna didn't answer. She just whispered, it was never just a tattoo, but what it actually was. That part was still to come. The tension in the room was thick. No one moved. No one spoke. All eyes flicked between Anna, James, and the flickering screen showing the underground machine. Its glow pulsed in rhythm with Anna's tattoos if they were connected. Agent Rowe placed the black object gently on a nearby desk. "We don't have much time," he said. "The signal stabilizes, that machine activates. And once it does, there's no turning back." James took a slow step forward. "It was meant to activate," he said coldly. "That machine holds the key. Not just to power, not just to control, but to everything that was hidden." And he pointed. At Anna was the lock. Anna's expression stayed calm, but her hands were clenched. The truth was now.